First, we are a state that honors history, and we have a lot of it. And there are dozens and dozens of towns that celebrate their own pieces of history each year.
This weekend, it's the town of Paris, where they mark Founders Day. 207's Don Kerrigan went to get a preview in a place many Mainers have probably not heard of.
Probably not. Hi, guys. The place is Paris Hill, a beautiful spot, and it's really where the town of Paris began shortly before the American Revolution. It has some very different aspects of local history, and Founders Day celebrates how two very distinct pieces of that came together in one place. From Paris Hill, you get a wide view of Maine and beyond. Maybe that view has inspired people over the last 2 centuries, because this village has been an important place.
This is a rural town, so it's really impressive of how prominent it's been in Maine's history.
And each summer, the people of Paris Hill invite the rest of us to celebrate it. They call it Founders Day, an event that's largely the result of two remarkable men who lived in the same house about 140 years apart. Way over 200 years ago, the Hamlin family lived in this house. In 1809, they had a son and named him Hannibal. And he is a big reason why this community is still famous. Hannibal Hamlin became a governor of Maine, a member of Congress, and a U.S. senator, but his biggest job was being vice president of the United States for Abraham Lincoln.
But because Hannibal wasn't second term,
At the Hamlin Library and Museum, Brandon Roberts says Hamlin was an abolitionist, a fierce opponent of slavery.
he was one of the biggest proponents of freeing the slaves nationwide. He actually was one of the cabinet who talked Lincoln into doing that because he was considered one of the most radical members of the cabinet.
By that time, Hamlin had moved to the Bangor area, where he is also remembered. But Paris Hill thrived as county seat for Oxford County, with the jail, the jailkeeper's house, the courthouse, and the registry of deeds all clustered together near the Hamlin home. And around them, the church on the common, the academy, and dozens of pre-Civil War houses. A community that mattered, and one that, over time, produced 4 Maine governors. The Hill's importance diminished in the late 1800s when the county seat moved a couple miles down the road to South Paris, where commerce and the railroad flourished. The Hamlin family eventually sold the big house and farm, but one of them bought the old jailhouse and donated it to be a library and museum. Which you said when you first came to work here, it felt a little odd?
It did feel strange to come to work in a jail.
Where librarian Jennifer Lewis looks out for the books and the historic district that surrounds them.
I hear people often say that it's like stepping back in time to come and visit the area. A lot of the homes are 200 years old, some are older than that, and they've been well maintained.
And all of this received a very big boost about 50 years ago when Bob Bear and his wife bought and restored the old Hamlin farm.
I just like
Bear was a local business leader, owner of Oxford Plains Speedway, and then built the big NASCAR track in New Hampshire. But his passion was collecting and restoring elegant old cars, Packards, Duesenbergs, and others. His stunning collection is the biggest attraction of Founders Day. Curator Jeff Orwig says it's the only day of the year the public is invited to see it.
Oh, I think you'll find that many people view it as one of the finer ones that you'll find anywhere. Not necessarily the biggest, but the quality of what is in this building is pretty extraordinary.
Rare may be an understatement. Clark Gable's Packard, a World's Fair limo with gold fixtures, and a former Nazi Mercedes seized by the British government after the war. The visit isn't free, but the Bear family donates all the ticket money gathered from Founders Day to the library and museum next door. They've been doing it for 45 years.
It's vital. That is where almost all of our operating income comes from.
It keeps the history of the Hill alive, including one piece
My favorite story about the building is that there was a successful jailbreak,
that the old-timers might have wanted to forget.
and there were 5 prisoners in one of the corner cells. They chiseled out around one of the blocks and pushed it out, and the 5th man actually got stuck in the hole and was found by the jailer the next morning.
You can still see where they patched up the hole. The other 4 escapees, we're told, were never found. The old house has seen a lot, from prisoners to political leaders, classic old homes to classic old cars. Paris Hill can tell quite a story, and on Founders Day, they are happy to share it.
And Founders Day at Paris Hill is this Saturday. It's a fun place to visit if you love old cars, obviously. If you love old houses, which I do, why, it's also very much worth a visit. 2 other things. Paris Hill is home to a country club that opened in 1899, one of the very oldest golf courses in the state of Maine. And it has a mine in it that was discovered by Hannibal Hamlin's brother, who stumbled over a piece of tourmaline.
Oh my gosh.
They have Mount Mica is the name of the mine. It's been operating. It was the first gemstone mine in the country.
Wow.
And it's privately owned, still operates. So there you go.
Something for everyone.
There you go.
On Paris Hill. Thank you, Don.